All right. Thank you, guys. I will try to go through this pretty quickly. We don't have a lot of changes, but did want to review both our health insurance and ancillary renewals as well as the 401k plan for 2020 and 21. I do like to start these presentations with just giving an overview of where we are and discuss being good consumers. I think everybody knows COVID's out there. We have seen generally a decline in claims in that people aren't getting their knees, hips, and shoulders done, or anything that's not um, really mandatory. So we're seeing a decrease in claims there. We're still seeing high pharmacy claims, and obviously, if you're really, really sick, you're still going to the hospital regardless. Um, but from a being good consumer perspective, I always like to kind of put it in a decision tree. The hospital is the most expensive place to access medicine, followed by the emergency room, followed by urgent care, followed by the specialist, which is any doctor with an IST, cardiologist, orthopedist, then your primary care, and then virtual. So I'm sure a lot of people read about that in the news, and I will touch on that in a little bit. But in my personal opinion, if you go to the emergency room, you should be anticipating being admitted into the hospital. So, I think some of the tough calls are chest pains, but if you pulled your back and you can still kind of move around a little bit, but you're just in discomfort, that's not a great time to use the ER. Maybe the urgent care, or wait till Monday, Tuesday. Obviously, if it's an emergency, please use the ER. But again, that is for really emergencies. If you actually look at the corner of Kings and Moorhead, Atrium put a 24-hour urgent care on the corner, which in my mind is them telling you quit clogging up our ER with unnecessary visits. So be a good consumer. When you do talk to your doctors, or you have procedures done, please open your mouth and talk to them. I said on the last call, my wife, every year I tell her, when you get your preventative visit, please talk to them and tell them that's why you're there. Inevitably, she does not have that conversation, and we always end up with a balanced bill. So we don't want you guys getting surprised. My doctor, they like to do a vitamin D test, which I don't feel is necessary. So I don't have them do it, and therefore I don't have balanced bills. My point being is just make sure you are communicating with your doctor, doctors, or any providers, knowing that you're both on the same page. Just don't go in there, not say a word, and then be surprised if there's a balance bill. With that, I'm going to go into the benefits. This benefit guide should have been emailed out to you. If it's not, it's coming shortly. This is your open enrollment. The plan year runs December 1st through November, the end of November. This is the time for you to add or drop dependents or spouses. You will not be able to do that later in the year, only during open enrollment, unless you have a qualifying event, which is a marriage, a divorce, birth of a child, something in that manner that is a qualifying event. So this is the time for you to make changes. December 1st is also when your deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums will reset. So if you've already hit your out-of-pocket maximum and you have some other procedures that need to get done, I would encourage you to go ahead and try to get those done before December 1st, because once December 1st hits, everything starts back over at zero. There's some eligibility. If you work 30 plus hours, you're eligible for the plan. We did get a slight increase this year. New Forum is eating most of that and paying that for you. We still have two plan options, which I'll go over shortly. They're the exact same as they were. And you still have free health insurance on the base plan, which is very rare these days. As I come down this plan design, the base plan is still a $3,500 deductible. It has a $6,600 out-of-pocket maximum. If you get hit by a bus and you're in the hospital for 300 days, the most you're going to pay is $6,600. Preventative care is covered at 100%. Again, I touched on that in terms of communicating with your doctor. Primary care is $25. If you go to the specialist, that is going to go towards your deductible and co-insurance. Virtual visits. This is something that's going to be, has been, and is going to be kind of the wave of the future for any non-emergency doctor visits. My daughter had a rash. We were able to do a virtual visit with the doctor through FaceTime and get the medicine she needed without having to go to the doctor. Made mom very happy, just not having to get her out in front of other sick kids, especially during COVID. I will tell you, please go ahead and get that set up with Cigna. If you are sick and not feeling well, the last thing you want to do is be fumbling through an app trying to figure out how to get it to work, so you don't have to go to the doctor. Virtual visits, they're obviously not going to be able to stitch you up or give you pain meds, but for a lot of the kind of lower level sniffles, ear infections, you can use that, and I would encourage you to do it. And then you have a $10, $50, and $70 copay on tier 1, 2, and 3 drugs. If you've already been on the plan, those are the same drugs. You can go to the Cigna's website to see where the drugs fall on each tier. The out-of-network benefits, I will say, I'm not going to spend any time on that. If you use a doctor in the Charlotte area that doesn't accept Cigna, you might want to question why. Or it's going to be more of a holistic type doctor. But again, that comes back to having a conversation with your doctor. If you're getting any type of procedure done, make sure they accept your insurance. And most doctors will require that on the front end. But the last thing you want to do is be surprised with a $2,000 or $3,000 bill because you were out of, or $2,000 or $3,000 bill more than you should have paid because you're out of network versus in network. I will answer questions at the end, so I'm just going to keep going through, just since everybody's muted. We are offering a buyout plan, which is going to have a lower deductible of $2,500 and an out-of-pocket of $5,000. It does have the same $25 copay as the primary care. You are picking up a $50 copay at the specialist and a $75 copay at urgent care and a $500 copay at the emergency room. So I have 3 little kids, and during COVID, they've had 3 sets of stitches and a broken arm. And so that's 4 different ER visits. If you're prone to that, you might want to buy up and have this plan where you're paying a copay versus towards your deductible and out-of-pocket maximum. I'm personally on an HSA plan, so each one of those visits was about $1,500. So it hurt a little bit, but that's also why I have a health savings account and prepare for those situations. Same copays at tier 1, 2, and 3. This is your buyout plan. I'll show you the cost towards the end. There isn't really a significant cost difference to buy up. So, every person has a different situation. So you need to figure out which is best for you and your family in terms of out-of-pocket cash and cash flow. Both are great plans. New Forum is paying a lot towards your premiums, including making the base plan free for employees. So, and also covered the increase from this year. Dental insurance, we are also with Cigna as well. So if you had no issues with your dentist prior to this, you will not again this year. I hesitate to use the word insurance because it's more of an indemnity policy, in that if you go in and have $5,000 of work done, they're going to pay $1,000 and be done. You're going to owe the difference. I will also let you know that this benefit runs calendar year versus plan year. So your deductibles are going to reset December 1st. Your dental benefits do not reset until January 1st. So in the past, with a different group, the person had a procedure done November, and then on December, well, that was still the same plan year for the dental, so she didn't get a reset of benefits. Conversely, if you know you're going to have some dental work done, maybe you do some in December and finish it off in January, or even try to have them bill you in 2 separate time periods. That way you can maximize your benefit for the dental. Vision insurance, same plan as was before, $10 copay for exams. You can see the copays for your lenses here, $150 allowance for contact lenses. This is covered, all the exams are covered for 12 months, frames are 24 months. Again, make sure that you are seeing your doctor. If you go get your eye exam in 11th month period, they're not going to cover it. And so most dentists are going to make sure you're 1 year and 1 day out. But if you try to have a dental cleaning in January and again in December, you're going to end up paying out of pocket for that. I will tell you, if you do have a spouse working, I know our plan is 24 months frames, and I would just flip-flop vision every year between my wife's plan and her. And she would come on mine, and then I would go on hers, and that way we were getting frames every year. So there's a little hack there for you. Life insurance, New Forum is providing this for you, $15,000 death benefit. Please update your beneficiaries. We have had instances in the past where the ex-husband, David, correct me on the last one, was still listed the beneficiary as opposed to the current husband. So you want to make sure you don't put yourself in that situation and update those beneficiaries. New Form's also paying for your short-term disability. I think this is a great benefit. If you are injured or become ill and you're out for 7 days, they're going to pay up to 60% of your income, up to $1,000 a week. So, if you have a knee surgery or, throw your back out and aren't able to work and it impacts your income, you can have some cash flow through the short-term disability policy. More importantly, they're also covering your long-term disability, which, hopefully nobody qualifies for this or is eligible. But in the event that you do have something that's pretty major and you're out, you can see it's a 90-day waiting period. So you have to be able to not work for 90 days. They're going to cover 60% of your income up to $10,500 a month. And so, when you look at that, that's covering up to a little over $200,000 of income. The number one reason for bankruptcies in America is injury and illness, because they're not able to pay their mortgages. So this is a great benefit, and New Form is paying it for you. This page, you can see the cost of coverage. As I mentioned, the buyout plan, $64.59 more a month. The employee only on the base is free. You can see all of your other tiers. And I will remind you that all of these premiums are coming out of your paycheck on a pre-tax basis, which is a big benefit to having the group plan. The rest of this is just notices. Please go on to the ADP website to enroll. Even if you have not or don't plan to make any changes, please do enroll, because we want to capture that data. With Stephanie leaving, we want to make sure that we have everybody's appropriate elections. Realistically, if you don't do anything, you're going to get grandfathered in, but we want to capture that data so we can start fresh. So please just take a few minutes, go onto the ADP website and enroll in your plans. With that, I will take a second to answer any questions. I don't see any questions in the chat, but if you have a question on anything here, again, nothing's changed. Same plans that we had last year, but I will take this time to answer questions.
I actually have one.
Okay.
Matt, I know that I have a child.
Matt, that's Ben.
I'm sorry, Ben. I just read the book. Matt,
Okay.
sorry about that. I have a child that is about to turn 26 next May. Is that a qualifying event, or what would you do there? I'm still covering them.
I would cover him or her, because at 26, he or she will have to get an individual policy or through their work. An individual policy will only cover Novant or Atrium, not both. One is in network, one is out of network. So group plans, both are in network. So the group plan is richer. So yes, you can enroll that son or daughter, and then at the date of birth, talk to Amanda. We have an individual specialist on staff that can help secure your insurance if you need so, but that can be a qualifying event to change from employee child to employee only.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Anybody? Reminder, you're muted, so if you have a question, you need to unmute. I've seen people start talking and don't realize that they're muted, so. I've done that. You start talking away and realize nobody's listening.
I will say, as you go through the year, if you have claim issues or billing issues, the providers are really not good at billing. We see lots of errors. If you have questions, please utilize us, and Amanda can get you our contact information. We're not here to field whether a doctor's in or out of network. It's more claim issues and stuff like that. So instead of spending time on the 1-800 number on the back of the card, that's what we're here to help you guys with. So keep that in mind. Hopefully nobody really has any big issues, but it is a great plans plural, that New Form's providing and paying a significant amount of premium on your behalf for. With that, go ahead.
Do we have to go to a doctor to get a specialist referral?
Do not. Just make sure that the specialist accepts Cigna.
Good question.
That is the old HMO gatekeeper process. So those are you see them more in California and some other states, but not in the North Carolina area.
Anybody else? Okay, I think we're good, Ben.
Well, with that, we're moving on to the 401k. My counterpart, P. Marriott, handles that for you. So any questions, again, Amanda can get you that information. But the way your 401k works, you have to wait a year until you're eligible, and then you are able to enroll the first quarter after that first year. New Forum is matching dollar for dollar up to 3%, and then 50% up to 4% for any of those dollars that you contribute on the 401k. I highly recommend you contribute because there's nowhere else you can get a guaranteed 100% return on your money. Sorry, my kids just came in. So please contribute, as much as you can. Do that 401k. It's a great benefit. They are also new this year. For those that have college debt, they are also going to match the same percentages. For any dollars that you pay towards your debt, New Forum is going to put in a separate 401k type account to help offset that burden. So the thought process there is, if you have to make a choice between contributing to a 401k or paying off any student debt, we're going to allow you to do both because we're going to make that 401k contribution.
I have a question. With the 401k college debt match, does that have to be your own personal debt, or can it be a spouse's debt that you're paying to be able to get that, qualify for that?
It has to be your own personal debt, so no spouse or children.
Okay.
Great question, though.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What is the vesting schedule on this? Are we 100% vested once we start, or is it a?
It's 100% vesting. So, and again, that's a very generous kind of plan attribute that New Forum signed up to. So as soon as you put money in, if you put in $100 and they match that $100, that their match is yours. Is if you leave the next day, you're vested.
Awesome.
And I can't stress it enough. I mean, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a lot of people come out of the workforce that have not saved properly, and it's going to be a big event. So if you can put $50, $100, $200 a month away, New Forum's matching that for you. Again, up to the 3% and 50% up to 4%. That's guaranteed 100% return on your money on those first 3%. There's nowhere else you can get that in the market. So highly recommend at a minimum, if you're able to. I know everybody's cash flow situation is different, but that 3% should be an automatic decision, just because you're doubling your money and no questions asked.
I have a question too.
Our account.
Excuse me?
I can't. I'm sorry. It might be showing on the screen, and I just am unable to see it right at the moment. Who manages our 401k? Is it Fidelity or somebody?
John Hancock.
John. Okay. Thank you.
So you have some fun lineups, and again, if you've had a few different jobs and you've had some 401ks at different locations, you can roll those funds into this 401k, so you don't have to have 4 different accounts. And we see it often where your old employer, they're not managing it, they're not watching it appropriately. So NFP is managing and using John Hancock funds.
And we have some target accounts you can manipulate and kind of create your own investment strategy. And we also have a Roth feature within our 401k plan as well. So if you have any questions about specifics investing, then I would definitely connect you with Pete when you become eligible and get more interested in it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Danielle, I think I heard you.
Yeah, I just had a question. I know this is probably a dumb thing because I'm worrying how I'm just wondering how it functionally works with student loans. So like say after a year we're matching in the 401k, how, like say I have PNC is through my student loans or through, like how does that functionally transfer over? Let's just use for example that you become eligible on April the 1st and you make payments April, May, and June, and you turn in a receipt to me that says, Amanda, I paid $300
As long as that's within 3%, we'll match up to 3% of your income. We will then take that $300 and put it into an investment account at John Hancock. So you're paying down your debt and we're putting in money for you that's vested from day one. So we're essentially giving you money,
Right.
just putting it in an investment account at John Hancock in a 401k type of account.
Oh, okay.
Does that
So
make
yeah,
sense?
so I would just give you a receipt of like school loans that I paid off, correct?
Yep.
Oh, that was my question. That was it. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
We're trying to make it simple so
Yeah,
that
that's easy.
it's not a huge burden on anybody, and that hopefully people can take advantage of it. And I remember when I came out of school, it was like, everybody's like, oh, power of compounding interest. What do you do? And it's like, oh, but I have this and I can't do this. So we're trying to eliminate that and allow people to begin to save faster than they would under normal circumstances.
That sounds good to me. Thanks.
Can I put in my student loans from years ago?
I'm sorry, Tracy.
Can I submit my student loans from many moons ago? I guess not. huh?
Only if you're
Darn.
currently still paying on them. And I know it takes 20 years, but hopefully you're done paying them off.
I'm old school. I had to work through. I don't think we had all the loan options back in my day, but just trying to figure something out.
Yep. And Zach asked a good question. It's an either or, so you can't double dip. If you're investing in 401k, then you can't also get the student loan match.
Wait, so you can't do both?
You can't do both.
Oh, so like we can't have our student loans and our like money that we're contributing to the 401k.
It would still be just the maximum match. So if you can only contribute
Okay.
1% of your paycheck because you're also paying down your student debt, then you get the benefit of both. But you can't get
cool.
suddenly an 8% match. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would sound too good to be true.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So yeah, we're willing to get to max it, to fully maximize it, but you can't double dip to the full maximization of both plans. Does that make sense? Am I okay?
That makes sense.
Okay. And
The re-
as you get it, this is a new thing for 2021. So as people that have debt, if we get into this and you become eligible, then we'll work closely to make sure that everybody understands the full process of it. Because you'll have to set up a John Hancock account and do all that stuff through this process.
The regular 401k account, is that still a 3% match?
It's a dollar for dollar up to 3%, and then it's 0.5%. So if you put in 5, we put in 4. But if you put in 3, we put in 3.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So that's why Ben was saying, if you can put in 3, then that's just easy. It's a straight match. We're 100% matching your money. So essentially, we're giving you a 3% raise if you can afford to live without that income.
But if you're putting in more than 3, then how much?
So they're going to match dollar for dollar for 3%, and then 50% on the dollar up to a max of 4%.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You would have to contribute up to 5% to get the full 4% match.
Got it.
Yep.
Any other questions?
These are good questions, guys. Thanks.
I have a question that's not related to 401k. That's unless you're moving on to another category.
Go ahead.
Is it related to health benefits, or is it something that
Yes.
me and you need to talk about? Okay, go ahead.
No. I apologize. I'm new to the benefits.
No, you're fine.
Since I'm a
You're fine.
employee. My question, and forgive me if I missed it because I had a call that I couldn't get off of. Do we have a HSA account or flex spending option?
We do not.
We do not at this time, no.
We have 2 PPO plans, and you're not allowed to have an HSA with a PPO type plan.
Okay. Can you have a flex spending program with a PPO program?
We do not offer one at this point.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We're right at 30 minutes. So if you need to get with us being myself on the benefit side, Pete Marriott on the 401k side, please let Amanda know. And we can connect offline if you don't want to ask a question in front of the group or something comes up. But if there are no more questions, we'll let everybody get back to their day.
All good?
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank
And
you.
thanks, guys.